Well, thank you, Chair, and I want to thank our witnesses today for their incredible bravery and for their service. And I think it is important to recognize that when you're part of the first cohort walking into anything, it is incredibly brave to do that work, and it's very clear that nobody really prepared for it. There was no sort of orientation saying this is going to be hard, and no accountability put on the people that were receiving to make sure that the pathway was as safe as possible. So thank you for being here to help us try to make the path safer for other veterans who are women and for other serving members who are women in the future. What I heard from all three of your testimonies, so I'm going to ask one question, then I'll start with you, Nicola, and then move on to the other folks online about this. What I heard in all of your testimony is that because of the fact that you were often silenced and that there was a lack of confidence that if you came and told someone that that reality would be reflected back to you in a positive way, and because you were in an environment where it was very much just get through it, even though you were doing things that anybody of your physical stature would struggle with. It was all very normal, but it was treated like it was some sort of bad thing. With the sexual assaults that we heard from some of our witnesses today, it's just like this abuse that was happening. You were not able to share it. And I know that when you get over to the VAC side, if you have things not documented, it's very hard to get the supports that you need on the VAC side. I'm just wondering if you could tell us about that challenge, how you were made to be silent, forced to be silent, and then when you got to the VAC side, how you had to try to get them to understand so that you could get what you needed to heal. Nicole?
I'm still fighting for that.
Yes.
Because they want proof of my injury. And even then, when I had that back injury, I had to have an advocate fight for me to go digging because VAC wasn't willing to give up anything. We have to ask, but there are things that I don't even know. And how am I supposed to ask if I don't know to even ask the right question? I'm just finally getting, my husband's helping me out, and there's a form, and he's not my nurse, but my caregiver, and I get help with that. Finally, I got the appropriate care manager from VAC now, because now am going through a life-altering moment in my life. It's a long moment. So.
Thank you so much. If I could come to you, let me see. Alice Aiken, Dr. Aiken, I think.
Yeah, no problem. Look, I'd agree. Now, when I got out, when I released in 1998, and I don't know if Nicole had this same experience, but at the base in Kingston, somebody actually sat down with me, went through my medical file and said, okay, you had these injuries. We're going to put in a claim to Veterans Affairs. We're going to help you with it. Now, I know in 2007, when my husband released, they didn't do that anymore. So they put in a claim, and I thought, oh, that is great service. But it took years going through Veterans Affairs, and people were questioning me. I mean, keep in mind, at this time, I'm a health professional, and they're questioning me with just ridiculous questions about anatomy and things they didn't even understand. And, I had to sit in front of a tribunal and justify that, how I had hurt myself. Well, I fell and I hurt myself. Like, why do I have to justify that? I filled out a CF98. I did all of the right things. It was absolutely a nightmare. And we went through the same nightmare trying to get my husband's claim. So I'm not sure it was any different for men or women, though he had served longer and was Army. I was Navy, so that was also a different thing. But so I have to say, the whole process was terrible at the time. And now, should you wish to add anything else to your claim, because we know most veterans don't come forward until 15 years after they've released with claims. If you want to add anything in, they stop your entire file until that's adjudicated, which makes zero sense. So
Well, thank you. And Ms. Laverdeau, if I can come to you, your story in particular was, around having that terrible violent throw of, I think you said 75 feet, if I got that correctly. I'm just wondering if that was recorded appropriately so that you could actually claim when you got to VAC.
Well, again, this was one of my fight because the accident happened in 1988 in Bagotville, and following the accident, I had a surgery done in Valcartier in Quebec, military base. So everything was documented in my files, So when I put in a claim at VAC for knee condition, my left knee, they refused. But I had a surgery in the military. So then I had to look for my warrant officer at that time who picked me up on the tarmac, asking him to write a letter to testify that, like I was injured there. And then they accepted, but it took 5 years.
Thank you. I think that's my time.